Today we're doing root beer butter pecan cake. This is a cake that was inspired by Beth on her channel Cooking and Crafting, where she did a strawberry soda cake, and she asked us to see if we can come up with any variations. So I decided to try the root beer variation. I chose the butter pecan cake to go with it. So let's see how it turned out. Okay, today we're making butter pecan root beer cake. Butter pecan root beer cake, and this is inspired by Beth, who is Cooking and Crafting, and you need a butter pecan cake mix. So one butter pecan cake mix, one cup of oil, vegetable oil, 3 eggs, and 1 cup of root beer. Blend this together. Oh, and I forgot. 1 package of instant vanilla pudding mix. Okay, now you're going to grease 1 by 9 by 13 inch pan. Now, I want to make 1 to keep and 1 to bring to a function I'm going to today. So I'm going to divide it into 2. And I'm using foil, a foil takeout container. I don't know, I think this one is going to cook faster. The foil is going to cook faster than the glass. So I'm going to evenly divide it into 2. And then you're going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Okay, Beth, say it with me. Goodbye, yummy butter pecan root beer cake. See you in a few minutes. Now you're going to make the glaze that you're going to put over top of the cake when it comes out of the oven. Beth's original recipe called for 1 cup of icing sugar or powdered sugar. Now I thought a little more might be better, so what I did was I'm putting 1.5 cups of the powdered sugar, so just increasing the amounts by a half. So 1.5 cups of confectioner sugar and 3 tablespoons of the root beer instead of just 2. And then you're going to blend that together and just set it aside until the cakes come out of the oven. Okay, the cakes come out of the oven here, and you can see the one on the right. I actually had to move it from one spot to another in the oven, and it actually sunk down a little bit in the middle there. It collapsed a bit. And you can see it's a lot darker than the one on the left. I left them in for the same amount of time. I probably should have pulled the foil one out sooner, but it was still good. It was just a little bit darker. And so half of the glaze is going to go over top of one cake and half on the other cake. And these cakes are hot, just out of the oven, and that's when you want to pour the glaze on. And I think that just adding that half a recipe of glaze to this actually made it perfect as far as I'm concerned. I think a single recipe with just the 1 cup of sugar would probably be fine, but I certainly didn't find this so overwhelmingly sweet. It was very, very good. Then you're going to just spread it around the top of the cake, and you'll see as the cake cools, it'll start to get a nice crackle, shiny crackle finish on the top of the cake. It's very nice. I took this cake to a potluck dinner, and I put a little sign next to it because there was a ton of desserts saying that this was root beer butter pecan cake, and you know what? There wasn't a single piece left at the end of the evening, and there was a ton of desserts to choose from, so it was a hit. The root beer flavor in this was very subtle. You could tell it was there if you knew what you were kind of looking for when you're eating it. It's super moist, and it is very sweet. So what kind of flavors can you come up with for this kind of cake? Give it a try.